Welcome to episode 15 of the Kiribati 36 aluminium boat build. This is the channel where I'm building an aluminium boat from scratch, as well as the electrical motor and all the components that I'm going to have on the boat itself. In this episode I will be looking at the Keel box rubber lid, so the manufacturing of that, as well as looking at the cost tracking of 18.1, stage 18.1, which is the Cleats. So let's take a look. Okay, time to get going again. So what I've done is cover this hole where I welded it shut. So that's now the last of the holes that needs to be drilled, and after that I can do the rubber seal that needs to go between the lid and the actual keel box itself. So yeah, let's do that. That's a good start. To make sure that the hole aligns up, I put all the other bolts in, and it's a little bit of movement, but I think it should be okay anyway. So we just need to mark this from underneath, drill it out, and the last bolt should be able to go on, which will be a relief. A little bit of metal in spirit, and let's make sure we drill in the right place this time. Hole drilled, and I now just need to put all the bolts back in again and see if it finally lines up. Let's give it a go. Hooray! We now have a final lid where all the bolts line up against the lip underneath. So this means that I can now take this off and I can start working on the rubber seal. A little question here as well. All these loose parts like the lid and some of these parts, the kind of sheave construction that sits here and this lid here, I could paint that white or even have it powder coated. So my question is, would you paint it white or would you leave it as aluminium? So have a think about that and let me know. Some people seem to be thinking that leaving it as aluminium looks nicer. I'm not 100% sure myself. I think I might paint all the loose parts or all the parts that you can remove in traditional white. So let me know. Another thing that I need to do is get a couple of spaces for these middle holes. I realized after my last fitting of this sheave and wheels that the spectra ropes will go on the inside, which meant that when I used this massive hex bolt in the middle, it was sticking up too much and it was actually hitting the spectra rope. So I have ordered 2 ultra thin flathead bolts, A4 stainless steel, marine grade, and I have countersunk these 2 middle holes by 6mm. I think they're 16 in diameter. That will allow me to also use plastic spaces, so I don't have any connection between the stainless steel and the aluminium. So I just need to get some plastic spaces that are 16 in diameters and M8, and potentially might have one that covers the top as well, but we'll see. So that's another thing on the list. So we have a plastic spacer, and then we have a stainless steel spacer, and I think if we put a little Tef gel in there together with these, then we should have a flat surface, which is exactly what I wanted. And then if I paint this one white, it will look pretty as well. Just need a polish. this is the plan for the seal. I am going to put the rubber seal mat on the floor, then turn these upside down on top of the seal, mark out all the holes, mark out the outer shape, and then cut that shape and also open up the holes. And then I can then put that back on here. I can lift the keel box up and I can draw on the inside of this and then cut out, and that should leave me with a seal that has the same shape as the actual lip. So that's in theory. So let's give that a go. Just put up on these so I know which side is up and which is down. So we can outfit the spectre rope in between here, which we couldn't do before. So mat rolled out, and I just need to then mark all the holes and the outer line of the actual lid itself. Let's see what we got when we remove this. That's good to me. So I should be able to hole punch these holes and cut the actual line with a normal heavy duty scissors. Then we should have one piece, or at least the main piece, done. I then need to cut out the inside of it as well. Here comes the scary bit. Do I have enough roll of rubber mat left, or have I cut it too short? I think the max I could order of this was 200 mil, but I think that should just be enough. So let's see. Yep, we have a good 30-40 mil left between the two cuts, so we should be good to go. Just need to mark this up and then I can start cutting. And we have the second one. Let's see the lines, all the holes, and yeah, time to start cutting and hole punching. Had to do this inside because it's way too hot outside. So we now have the outline of the two lids, and we still have the holes to hole punch. I've gone with a 7 mil hole punch. The bolts are 6 mil rather than making it too tight. There's plenty of lip for the seal to act on anyway, so I'm gonna make it easy for myself and do a 7 mil instead of a 6 mil. The idea was to lift the keel box up so I could draw on the inside of the lip line, but there's something that is catching when I'm trying to lift it up. So I've just drawn the line under here, and what I'm going to do is just take the rubber mat off, or the rubber seal off, and start with cutting the outline. And I might just measure the inside of the lip and draw that manually out on the actual mat and cut after that. This is the final product, 2 sets of 3mm rubber seals. So let's mount them and see how they fit on the actual keel box. before fitting them, I have made sure I added plenty of silicone spray just to see if I can increase the longevity of the rubber. So that's probably something I will do frequently, maybe every 60 days or something like that. So the final shape laid out. I'm just going to put a bit of silicone spray on the edges and then put it on the keel box. Before I put the seal on, I noticed that there's a little bit of an overlap here. So if I push this in, you can see it goes up on the edge. So I'm just going to sand that down. This one looks good. That one looks good. And I think a little bit on this piece here as well. Happy with that. It looks like this seal is going to be working as intended. So all I need to do now is to put the lid on and make sure that I silicone this now and then, so that the rubber or neoprene rubber will stay in good condition. So the seal now in place. If anyone knows what torque, when I finally come to put this on properly, I need to put between the plate and the seal to make sure that you are optimizing that seal, let me know. I'm sure there is a Google table somewhere I can find, but if anyone already knows, feel free to post it in the comments. So this was the final result, 6 of these chunky monkeys. The material wasn't that expensive, but the welding, which was a bit too technical for me to do myself, was a bit expensive, as well as rounding these corners and doing the 5th fish mount on this side. But all in all, I'm really happy with them. They are very sturdy, very chunky, and I am sure that they will last for a long time. Stage 18.1, which is 6 cleats, came to a total of 1,345 Great British pounds, which is roughly 1,348.63 US dollars. The reason for the cost, because obviously that's a huge amount, is that I bought a lathe during this stage, so I can do some lathing. Obviously I've used a lathe for many other parts and will be using it for other parts, so that is what bumped up this total cost for this stage. So parts and material came to 170.16 Great British pounds, which is 227.12 US dollars. External labor, which was welding and lathing. So the welding came to 190 Great British pounds, which is 255.71 US dollars. The lathing came to 125 Great British pounds, which is 168.24 US dollars. And the lathe and all the tools I bought for the lathe, a couple of drills, etc., came to 518.29 Great British pounds, which is 697.56 US dollars. So that's a breakdown of the cost. So you can see the actual part material for the cleats was only a fraction, so 117.16 Great British pounds, which is 227.12 US dollars. The rest was external labor as well as the tools that I bought for this stage. If you want to look closer at the penny breakdown of stage 18.1, then you will find a link in the description to the blog that you've just seen in the background. So conclusion, the parts and the material for this stage was 16.96%. External labor came to 31.39%. And the tools and miscellaneous, which was the lathe, came to 51.65%. With this, I have now reached a total of 12,834.46 Great British pounds, which is 15,904.86 US dollars. So that is the total for stage 1 up to 18.1. So a reflection on all of this is that 46% of that total cost is parts and material, and for me the additional has been external labor and some tools that I bought. So it's an interesting one to keep in mind, that when you start calculating on what you are going to spend and have a budget, it's not just the parts and materials you have to add. There will be stuff that you can't do yourself or don't have the machines to do yourself, or maybe you can and maybe you do. So, but it's food for thought anyway. If you need to look closer at the Google Doc, then you will find a link in the description to that. Thank you for watching episode 15 of the Kiribati 36 aluminium boat build. If you are new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. If you have any concerns, improvements, or just general questions about the boat build, feel free to put them in the comment section below. If you're interested in the electric motor build, I have a separate playlist for that, as well as if you're interested in all the electrical components that I'm going to use on the boat, then you can find a playlist for that as well. Until next time, have a great week and I'll see you soon.